What's up, keto people? So this is the second time I've ever done this on my channel, but I am doing another pre video because just to let you know that I made these yesterday. I put them in the fridge I had them all day long in the fridge, and the next morning, and I brought them to my mom, and like everybody loved them over there. So anyway, these Keto Oreo cookies are fantastic. You do want to keep them in the fridge for a little while once you get them all filled up and everything, but I mean, look, so good. Anyway, here's how to make them. What's up, keto people? So we are going to be making Keto Oreo cookies today. So what I had in here already, it's 1 1/3 cup of almond flour. And then what we have here, now if you don't have this dark or black cocoa powder, then just do 8 tablespoons or 1/2 cup of your regular cocoa powder. But if you have some of this, which I got it from Amazon, it took about a week. It was not Prime, it's Valrhona or whatever. That's black cocoa powder. If you do have that or you're gonna order it, then do 6 tablespoons of Hershey cocoa powder and 2 tablespoons of the black. Mix that in and pour that in here. And then to this, what we have is 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 teaspoon of both xantham gum and baking soda. And then as an option, you can do this espresso powder, 1/4 teaspoon of espresso powder. Now I bought this at Kroger's. Let me tell you, I opened it up and smelled it. Oh, I am in love with this. Like, I need to make some other things with this keto, so look for those. But anyway, so it's 1/4 teaspoon of that if you have it, but it's optional. You know, it's a very minimal amount, so whether you have it or not doesn't really matter that much. But it smells really good, so I'm glad that I got it. So anyway, all I'm going to do is whisk this until it all combines, and then I will come back and do the butter and I was going to say sugar, Swerve. Okay, guys, so what I have in here now is 5 1/2 tablespoons of softened butter, and this is 1/2 cup of granulated Swerve, or you can get that monk fruit sweetener. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here, and I also will have 1 egg. So what I'm going to do, so y'all don't have to hear it, is I'm going to cream the butter, and this is apparently a very important step. You want to cream the butter for 1 to 2 minutes. Sorry if you hear the clanking, that's my dog attacking my cat. You want to cream it for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then add the sweetener and continue to beat until the sweetener has dissolved, which will be about 3 to 5 minutes. So all in all, it's going to take maybe about 5 to 7 minutes for this particular process. And I will come right back. Okay, guys, that was fun. Okay, so I creamed the butter for about 1.5 minutes or whatever. It seemed pretty good, but it is a small amount, so you got to kind of chase it with the bowl that I had anyway, because eventually you're going to be adding stuff to it. So I don't know if you want to use a smaller bowl, whatever. And then it took maybe about 5 minutes, and I even put the mixer on a little bit of a higher level. And of course, it's not going to completely dissolve, but I think it's to the good enough consistency. I don't know if you can kind of, you know, get a feel for it. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and add 1 egg just until it's incorporated. It's going to appear slightly broken. Oh my God, where's my rag? Where's my rag? Y'all know me and eggs. Oh! So it's going to appear slightly broken, but all I'm going to do is just mix it really quick and I will come back. Okay, guys, that didn't take long at all. Matter of fact, I mean, it looks just like yellow dough almost. So anyway, with this cocoa powder mixture and the mixer on low, I'm going to add 1/2 of it, mix it up, and then the rest of it and mix it up just until it's fully incorporated. Well, mostly. Anyway, I'll come right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So first off, let me just say, it will fight back. For one, I'm glad I got a big bowl, because dumping all of that, the cocoa powder, and you know, even if it was just 1/2 and then another 1/2, there was a lot of it. So it would tend to spray out if you didn't use anything other than a bowl kind of like this. And it will fight. You know, my little handy dandy little mixer thing right here did the trick. but it was certainly making it slow at times. So I would just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. It will eventually do it. Now, unfortunately, I still have a little bit of, tiny butter chunks in there. But let me tell you, I tried a little crumb of this. This is probably going to be one of my absolute favorite recipes if it comes out the way that I think it's going to come out, because it smells and tastes so good. So good. So anyway, all I'm going to do here is put it in some cling wrap. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be so good. Anyway, we want it to solidify. So unfortunately, this is going to be a time-consuming process. It says to refrigerate for at least an hour, if not 2. You really need it to solidify. And it even says if it doesn't really do it, then put it in the freezer. It's probably more and more saying, because it says in parentheses overnight, to do it overnight. I'm going to try and wait 2 hours. Good thing I started early. It's 10:31 on the nose. So at 12:30, not 12:31, I'm going to check on this and see how we're doing. Guys, it's so good already. I'm very excited. Anyway, I'll see you here back in 2 hours. Okay, guys. So I had it in for an hour and a half, and then I put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. That really seemed to harden it up a little bit. So basically a 2-hour time that I did, and I did roll it out. Now what I did on that was, this is 2 sheets of parchment paper, and I rolled it out, but just because I was scared of it sticking on the other side, I would flip it over and make sure it didn't stick or whatever. So anyway, it came out like this. Now also what I did was I halved mine. I have another half in the refrigerator, because this is supposed to make 48 individual wafers, but when you put them together with one Oreo, it makes 24. So I cut it in half just because I only really have one baking tray. So I'm going to have to do it twice. So I put 1/2 in. Anyway, one more thing. So when I was realizing that the measurement for these should be 1 3/4 of an inch, well, almost 2 inches, less a quarter, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any cookie cutters or whatever. And I looked for my measuring cups and all that kind of stuff. Nothing fit. Ironically, what does is my brand new espresso powder little jar thing. It's a little bit bigger, so I don't know if I'm going to get 24 for all of these. Matter of fact, I know I won't with this first go around. But so all I'm going to do is cut them out like this and then lay them on the baking tray, and we're going to put them in the freezer on the baking tray for another 15 minutes. So I will come right back when I have them all in the baking tray. Okay, another tip, guys, is when I'm cutting them out like this and trying to get the excess off and stuff, it's like my nails aren't really getting them. So I've got this little icing thing. Of course, you can use a spatula. Of course, now it's not going to do it for me. There we go. All right, and I'm able to put it on here. Anyway, just another tip. Okay, I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I'm going to pop these in the freezer for 15 minutes, and then they're going to go in a 350-degree oven for 8 to 12 minutes, and I will come right back. Okay guys, so it's been about a little over 2 hours. What I did was I put them into the oven for 350 degrees for a little over 10 minutes. And I can tell you that on the super thin ones, it kind of burned a little bit. I already took a little taste just because you can kind of tell. Now, what they really say is they're going to puff up a little bit, and then whenever you really start smelling them, that's the cue. But you really kind of need to focus on in between like 8 to 12 minutes on whether they're going to cook fully to where they're going to burn. So on the thinner ones, they burn, but on the rest of the ones, they are good to go. Okay? So note to self on that, but I kind of figured some of them were going to end up being that way. Anyway, so I took them out of the oven, let them sit there for 10 minutes, and I put them on the cooling rack, and it really says to put them on for a few hours. A few meaning 3. I did like 2 or 3 hours. I don't really know anymore, but good enough. I mean, you can honestly tell they're very wafery. I mean, like you know, of course that was the one that anyway. So getting back to the vanilla cream now. I have 4 tablespoons of softened butter here and a tablespoon of coconut oil. Now I'm going to cream them together and then I will come right back and show you what to do. Okay, so that is fully incorporated. And now on the vanilla extract, remember extract, not flavoring. Flavoring has sugar. It is 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract and a pinch of salt. So put a little pinch of salt in there and some vanilla, and I'm going to combine that, and then afterwards it's going to be a 1/2 cup to a cup of Swerve confectioner, powdered Swerve. If you don't have powdered, you can use granulated. You just take a coffee grinder or blender and make it powdered that way. But anyway, a cup or a 1/2 cup to a cup, depending upon how sweet you want it. Anyway, so I will come right back. Okay guys, so I combined all of that, creamed it up. It only took like a minute or 2 minutes. I put it into my little brand new icing thing, which I'm telling you, it was not expensive at all, from Amazon. It's Kotek Cake Decorating. It's got like all these tips or whatever. You know, super cute idea. You don't have to use it, but I'm gonna use it because I just bought it. And so all I'm gonna do is just pipe in some of this frosting inside here. Now, obviously you don't have to do that. You can just fill it up with a knife or something, which by the way, probably by the end of this, I'm gonna be like, whatever, I'm putting this down, throwing the knife in, because who has time to do all this? Anyway, I'm gonna fill all of these up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna only get 9 cookies out of the 12 that I should have, because I did have some that were really thin that just ended up burning as compared to the other ones. So I just kind of put those on the side. So anyway, I will come back with the finished product. Okay, so first of all, you might need to double up on the recipe, on the vanilla inside recipe. Depending. I still had enough left for the rest of the ones that I had burned. We all know me and bacon. And but I still think there should be a little bit extra, although I did a little bit more of like a double stuff thing. Whatever. Anyway, and then the other thing was I was moving them from here to the refrigerator, because you're supposed to refrigerate them until they really set. It doesn't really give a set time. But as I was doing that, I realized this is taking almost an all-day thing, so I didn't really have time to do that. So I'm going to do this video now. But I can already tell you, I tasted one of them without it being set, you know, because then that means the vanilla frosting and stuff's getting everywhere. Let me just do a taste test, because I already did. This is so good, y'all. I actually think they're better than the Oreo cookie. Yeah, I kind of think they're better than the Oreo cookie. I do have another recipe coming up to use these also for Halloween. But anyway, point is, go ahead and refrigerate them and let them set. It doesn't say what time, but I'm going to guess probably maybe 15 minutes to an hour. Who knows? It's up to you until the vanilla frosting and everything sets. Because otherwise it's going to come spilling out like this. But really, honestly, who cares? Because it's good. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, here's what I have for the macros, what she has. Anyway, that's all the time I have today. I really hope that you enjoyed this. This was a great recipe. So I hope you really did enjoy it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys next time.